Share this video when you come in. Welcome to the podcast with Soul. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And hold on a second. You can follow me on Spotify, The Podcast with Soul. You can follow me on Instagram, The Podcast with Soul. You could also follow me on Facebook under my government name, The Government Joint. So I want to talk about this Vlad interview that Marv did. His real name is Marv. Haitian Marv. Marv from Haiti. Money 1272, what up? 1272, let's get into it, man. I watched the interview he did on Vlad, and let me just lay the groundwork first of all for the basis of my video tonight. Is first of all, when this incident first came out, it was the first I saw it, the first thing that got released was hold on a second, y'all. What y'all got going on tonight, man? Sean doing his push-ups. So the first thing that got released was Funny Blue Jacket released a 6-second video of one dude sitting behind Ja Rule, filming him like this and calling them names, trying to get him out of position verbally on a plane. Then you see Ja Rule turn around and talk back, looking both of them in the face. Now, it's 2 against 1. And in that situation, when you're outnumbered, obviously your senses are going to be heightened. Even if it was one-on-one and you thought there was a potential for a confrontation, your senses are going to be heightened, right? That's everybody. So, this is the first that I saw of this video, something coming from Sucker Boy, Funny Blue Jacket. Then after they show them having the verbal words, then that clip stops, and then they edit another clip on, and they show the pillow on the seat, and they put the narrative out that Ja Rule left, giving the impression that Ja Rule was scared and that he ran. That's why I say with video, anybody could take any video, and through editing, I can create any narrative that I want you to believe. Now, the next day, another video comes out, longer in length than the one Sucker Boy Funny Blue Jacket put out. And the video that comes out shows Ja Rule telling one dude is standing here, the one nigga standing here, and I guess Marv, we're going to call him Marv. Marv from Haiti is standing here. And Ja Rule is saying, let's shake. Now, I don't know what that means, but I think it means let's fight. Let's go. Now, Funny Blue Jacket didn't show that video. I don't know if he didn't have it or whatever the case may be. But when you watch the longer video, it shows Ja Rule standing his ground, being aggressive, standing up and sticking up for himself against two dudes. And he's won. 2 against 1. But Ja is still there representing for himself. So, like I just outlined here, Funny Blue Jacket was proactive and preemptive to be the first one to put out the first video of the incident so that he can shape the narrative first before anybody else does. That gets debunked by the longer video that comes out the next day on TMZ. It gets debunked. So, Funny Blue Jacket then, using the same strategy, is proactive and preemptive again and arranges for Marv from Haiti, Haitian Marv from Haiti, to go on Vlad TV first to continue to have the first words on the narrative on a major platform. Now, this is where Marv, Tony Yayo's real name is Marv. Somebody look up Tony Yayo's real name and put it in the live chat. Jay Mastermind, what up? Stevie Johnson, what up? Marvin Bernard. Marvin Bernard. So Marv goes on Vlad, and this is where, for me, it just proved to me beyond the shadow of a doubt that, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. To me, it proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that Marv was lying, and that the whole story of what he was saying was bullshit. And this is why. If you look at that Vlad interview, you will see that Tony Yayo's, Marv's eyes are constantly shifting. Whenever he attempts to recall a memory or a fact about the incident, his eyes shift to the left. He looks to his left. Now, some people in the law enforcement field, some people in the military, psychologists, psychiatrists, believe in a technique called eye movement to determine and to decide whether somebody is lying or not. And this is how it works. There's two brains. We have a right cerebral cortex and we have a left cerebral cortex. The left cerebral cortex, the left brain, controls the right side of the body. The right cerebral cortex, or the right brain, controls the left side of the body. That's why when you ever see anybody who's had a stroke and they say they're paralyzed on their left side of their body. That means they had a stroke on the right brain, on the right cerebral cortex. Conversely, if they're paralyzed on their right side, they've had a stroke in their left cerebral cortex or their left brain. We all have two brains. Now, this is what they say in the interrogation field, in the law enforcement field, detectives. They say that if somebody, well, the right brain is the abstract brain, the artistic expression part of the brain, right? The left brain is the knowledge part of the brain, the analytical part of the brain dealing with facts. The right part of the brain is more abstract, dealing with art. The left brain is more analytical, dealing with facts. So this is what they say. If it's a right-handed person, and when that person is talking to you or telling a story, and they look up and to the left or over and to the left, that means they're accessing their right brain, the artistic side of the brain, the creative side of the brain, which means they are lying. If you're speaking to somebody and they are accessing, they're looking over to their right, they're accessing their left brain, the analytical side of the brain, it means they're telling the truth. Some psychiatrists, psychologists, law enforcement swear by this, and some people say that's a bunch of bullshit too. But what we know for sure is that eye movement and body language, eye contact when somebody's telling a story, if somebody is telling you a story and they're telling you the truth, they are looking directly at you, and they don't need to access their memory to recall anything because they're speaking the truth. They can look directly at you. Go back and look at the interview Marv did on Vlad TV. Marv is Tony Yayo, Marvin Bernard from Haiti. Look at his eyes while every time he's recalling a part of the story. Well, I saw him come in the door, so then I look, his eyes are all over the place. Go back and look. That's the sign of the probability of what he's saying being not true is greater and higher. The probability that he's lying is greater than if he was standing there saying, well, Vlad, man, this is what happened. And he's always demonstrative. And in him explaining his story, he's always blaming Ja Rule. Oh, he was shook. He was scared. He was saying, what's up? What's up? These aren't facts. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to tear down the person, the only other person that knows what really happened other than the people that were there on the plane, who can debunk his whole story. So he's always talking about Ja Rule, and his eye movements are all over the place. Go look at it. Go look at it. So I don't believe nothing what Marv said. What's that you want?
4.
Your chest coming up. I don't believe nothing that he said, man. You know, when I was looking at that, I said, this nigga is lying through his teeth. And in order to boost up his story and to make what he thinks is going to make him more believable, he starts referencing, oh, I was with a bunch of gangsters. We gangsters. When you see me, you see Funny Blue Jacket. You know, we always on timing. That had nothing to do with the event that took place. I'm trying to get an interview with Ja Rule. I spoke to him today briefly in the text message, and to get his side of the story, and I'm sure it's going to be totally different from what Marv said. So just be mindful, man. You know, body language don't lie. Eye contact doesn't lie. And if you're a good reader of people, if you look at, he's constantly moving in his chair, he's fidgeting, you know, he's blaming Ja Rule, he's looking over here, his eyes are darting all over the place. No good. No good. And you finished?
Yeah, just take my shower now. Or should I wait?
Well, you got to do that homework. You might as well do it. So when you come out the shower, you just go straight to sleep. You fed Luna?
Yeah.
You know, Funny Blue Jacket, his credibility, his brand, everything about what he represents has taken a hit ever since December the 2nd, when he released that documentary, which was nothing more than him amassing a group of people that do not like Puff, that also have civil lawsuits pending against Puff, to get in front of a camera and say how much they hate Puff. That was the extent of that documentary. And ever since then, several stories in that documentary were debunked, right? Puffy had nothing to do with Biggie being taken from us. Puffy had nothing to do with Tupac being taken from us. He said that Puffy didn't pay for Biggie's funeral expenses. The guy that was over the estate says that is a lie. Puffy paid for everything. 3 lies right off the bat in that documentary. Number 4, the 4th lie. He said he was going to give all of the proceeds and all of the monies to the victims of the documentary. No money has been given to anybody. There has been no accounting, no nothing. 5th lie. His son's mother, who was a victim at the trial, who's in Puffy's indictment, who got on the stand and testified against Puff, was not in the documentary, yet she was a real victim. Cassie, who was considered a victim at the trial, did not speak in the documentary. There were only pictures of her going by. Cassie did not speak in the documentary. Jane Doe, his son's mother, who Puff took from him, was not even in the documentary. And these were the 2 real victims. 6th lie. Clayton Howard is now suing Funny Blue Jacket and Netflix for misrepresentation of what he interviewed about for the documentary. 7th lie. Capricorn Clark, who was in the documentary, who testified against Puff at the Puffy trial and is suing Puffy for $10 million, perjured herself on the stand at the trial. A guy that worked with Puff reached out to me and said, Sean, I worked with Puffy at Sean John. I remember Capricorn Clark's first day at work. Me and him did an interview. It's on this channel. It's Cassius Smith. He blew her story out of the water. That her whole involvement in the Puffy case was to get money. Once she got exposed on my channel, Capricorn Clark took her Instagram page down. The director, Alexandra Stapleton, who calls herself a black woman, whose father is white, and she's married to a white man, says she's a black director. She has since taken her Instagram page down. None of the other people that were in Funny Blue Jacket's documentary were called as witnesses to testify at the trial. None of them. Zero. It came out that Funny Blue Jacket has been behind Tisa Tells. She is in the documentary. She has done nothing but lie on Puff since the beginning of the trial. You know, this is the extent of this guy. This is his body of work. So that's just my personal opinion on the Tony Yayo situation. I think he's lying. I think his whole story is a lie. You know, you're talking about a man, what is he, 47 years old? Has no kids, no nothing. Funny Blue Jacket has 2 kids he doesn't spend any time with. These are very, very sad and broken men. And, you know, no good. So I just wanted to come on here, do this video real quick. I'm not going to stay on long. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the interview he did on Vlad? Does he? Somebody told me he doesn't. John Ramirez has a 5-minute video on YouTube. He's an ex-warlock. Please go check that out. Everything about Puff isn't a lie, but I think some people are lying for a check. Who is John Ramirez? Oh, he does got kids? All right, so I was wrong. I stand corrected. Marv Bernard has children. I was wrong about that. Who is John Ramirez? Murder. Money stacks. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. MPWFT, what up, man? What's up with you? Catch y'all later. Peace.